Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bloodline runs WWE. This has been the standard on screen for the last 5 years or so. Be it Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, or Jacob Fatu, among others, the group has remained dominant. This doesn't just apply to the wrestling stable, nor any spin-offs of the original faction. This applies to the real-life bloodline, and it has for many years. Names like Umaga, Yokozuna, and even The Rock have all been key players in the company in the past. One of the best-known members of the real-life bloodline is Rikishi. While he had numerous names and gimmicks throughout his career, the Dancing Big Man won Tag Team Gold and the Intercontinental Championship before being inducted into the Hall of Fame. While Rikishi has mostly been away from World Wrestling Entertainment for many years, he could return to the sports entertainment juggernaut in several ways. This article will take a look at some ways the Hall of Famer could return to television. Solo Sikoa has been one of WWE's most notable stars for close to 3 years now. He debuted as a member of Roman Reigns' bloodline, but briefly took over the group last year until this past January. Now, Solo Sikoa runs the MFT. His family tree of superstars includes Tama Tonga, Tom DeLoa, and JC Meteo. Presumably, Tama Tonga will also be part of the stable once he returns from his injury and is back on WWE SmackDown with the rest of the crew. Rikishi could return to World Wrestling Entertainment as the Weissman for the stable. Rikishi is Solo Sikoa's real-life father, and that means they have a natural bond. More importantly, who better to give Solo advice and guide him than his pops? It would make sense given their connection, and it would be fascinating to see. Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu were rivals in WWE for around a year. Things changed recently, however, as the Samoan werewolf left Solo Sikoa and his crew. In doing so, he has since begun to team up with Jimmy Uso. There is still some tension between them, but the cousins are seemingly working together to take on Solo Sikoa's stable. Unfortunately, Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu are still outnumbered, which makes it quite tricky. Rikishi could return to WWE as their manager. While he likely cannot get physical at his age, and thus cannot truly help with being outnumbered, Rikishi can be a lookout and offer advice to the unruly Jacob Fatu and to another one of Rikishi's sons, Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso has had an incredible few years in WWE. He broke away from the bloodline and went to Raw to be on his own. He has since won the Intercontinental title, the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match, and even the coveted World Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, much of that incredible run has come with some serious drawbacks as well. He lost the World Heavyweight title back to Gunther on WWE Raw, failed to win the 2025 King of the Ring, and even got destroyed by Bronson Reed on Raw. He is in a tough spot. Rikishi could return to television, but not for a permanent role. Instead, he can offer advice to main event Jey Uso. An impassioned speech to lift the spirits of his son and to motivate Jey could be what the Yeet Man needs now more than ever. WWE has numerous members of the bloodline. This includes those part of the Anoa'i family and those who are not. A constant array of bloodline members keeps showing up, including Tama Tonga just 2 weeks ago. There is another member of the real-life bloodline in WWE, and this time it is an Anoa'i member. Lance Anoa'i, who is likely best known for his work in Major League Wrestling and Game Changer Wrestling, signed with NXT just last year. He suffered an injury immediately, however, and is yet to debut on television. Assuming that Lance is ready to go anytime soon, Rikishi could decide to go to NXT and manage him. This would provide wisdom for the next generation of the bloodline. With Rikishi in Lance's corner, perhaps he could find great success on the developmental brand. Rikishi's return to WWE programming could be one of the biggest shocks of the post-WrestleMania 41 season if the Hall of Famer officially aligns with his son Solo Sikoa and the newly rebranded MFT faction. In recent months, Solo has assumed a leadership role in Roman Reigns' absence, appointing Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa, and Jacob Fatu as his enforcers, and systematically dismantling the weakened remains of the bloodline. But what if the biggest move Solo Sikoa has planned is yet to come? With Paul Heyman effectively ousted from his position as the Wiseman, and the group now running with a volatile sense of purpose, WWE may be planning to bring in a familiar face with a family lineage, authority, and legitimacy to match the chaos. None other than the legendary Rikishi. The WWE Universe knows Rikishi not only as a Hall of Famer and former Intercontinental Champion, but also as the father of Solo Sikoa and the Usos. His deep connection to the Anoa'i dynasty makes him a perfect figure to re-establish order, or further intensify the war. The idea of Rikishi as the new Wiseman of Solo Sikoa's NFT is not just compelling. It could be the linchpin that drives the next chapter in the Bloodline saga. As Roman Reigns remains off-screen recovering from his WrestleMania 41 loss, and Jey Uso embarks on his solo mission, the tribal narrative is ripe for another seismic shift. Here are several creative and impactful ways WWE could bring back Rikishi, not just for a one-off appearance, but as a vital, permanent component in the ongoing Bloodline civil war. The first scenario could see Rikishi make a surprise return to SmackDown during a major beatdown orchestrated by Solo Sikoa. Imagine a chaotic closing segment where Solo and the rest of the MFT faction lay waste to an outnumbered babyface, possibly Kevin Owens or LA Knight. As the crowd erupts in boos and disbelief, Rikishi's music hits for the first time in years. The arena goes wild as the Hall of Famer storms to the ring, not with fury, but with intent. Fans might initially assume he's out to stop Solo, only for Rikishi to dramatically embrace his son in the ring and raise his hand, declaring his support. This shocking twist would instantly establish Rikishi as the new Wiseman and reinforce Solo's dominance with the backing of blood. The visual of Rikishi in a suit, holding a mic and speaking on behalf of his ruthless son, would send chills down the spines of everyone watching. Another powerful return angle could see Rikishi come back not in support of Solo initially, but in opposition. Frustrated with the path his youngest son is walking, Rikishi could appear on SmackDown to call out the violent and destructive nature of the new MFT faction. He could deliver a heartfelt promo, reminding Solo of the family's values and the damage he's doing by turning his back on his brothers. The crowd would be hooked, watching as Rikishi pleads for reason. Solo, cold and unaffected, could feign reflection, only to order a brutal assault on his own father. But just as Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa prepare to attack, Solo halts them. He then helps Rikishi to his feet, whispering something inaudible, before hugging him. In that moment, the heel turn is solidified. Rikishi joins the faction, not out of agreement, but because he realizes that his family is stronger united in darkness than divided in conflict. A third possible route the WWE might take is a more strategic and manipulative version of Rikishi as Wiseman. Rather than being openly supportive or conflicted, this version of Rikishi could return as a mastermind-like character, slowly positioning himself as the true brain behind the new era. He could align with Solo under the guise of guidance and family unity, but begin subtly planting seeds of doubt and control. Promos could reveal that Rikishi never approved of Roman Reigns' leadership, and that he sees Solo as the true embodiment of what the tribal lineage should be. He could frame Paul Heyman as a parasite, and claim that it's time for real family to lead the charge. Over time, Rikishi could manipulate the faction from within, potentially even driving a wedge between Solo and Jacob Fatu, in a bid to solidify his own legacy through his son's reign of terror. Alternatively, WWE could take a more sentimental and emotionally charged path by having Rikishi return as a peacemaker. This version of Rikishi wouldn't join NFT or oppose them violently, but would instead serve as a bridge between the fractured members of the bloodline. His mission would be to reconcile Solo Sikoa with the Usos, particularly Jey, who remains on the outside, walking his own path. Rikishi could cut promos filled with raw emotion, recalling the early days of their bond and the family's journey. In this scenario, Rikishi wouldn't immediately succeed, but would be a recurring presence trying to restore harmony, only for his attempts to fail spectacularly. Eventually, realizing peace is impossible, Rikishi may choose to stand by Solo, not because he agrees with his ways, but because he cannot bear to lose another son. That would paint Rikishi's character in layers of complexity, giving fans a version of him that is both sympathetic and morally conflicted. Regardless of which scenario WWE ultimately pursues, Rikishi's involvement opens up countless possibilities. Not only does his return create a bridge between the bloodline's past and present, but it also gives Solo Sikoa's NFT faction a narrative edge that could elevate it beyond a mere imitation of Roman Reigns' original run. With Rikishi as the Wiseman, the promos gain depth, the feuds gain emotional weight, and the faction gains storytelling direction. Rikishi's legacy, long tied to his son's careers, would come full circle as he steps into the spotlight again, not as a nostalgic act, but as a central player in WWE's most powerful family drama. WWE has subtly teased family dynamics within the bloodline since its inception, and fans are acutely aware of the real-life bonds behind the scenes. That awareness makes Rikishi's potential return even more impactful. Unlike Paul Heyman, Rikishi offers not only credibility as a legendary performer, but also an emotional anchor that could tilt the storyline in unexpected directions. Whether as a manipulator, mentor, protector, or peace seeker, Rikishi's presence could reshape everything. If WWE wants Solo Sikoa's version of the bloodline to feel like more than just a shadow of what Roman built, anchoring it in familial history is key. Bringing in Rikishi is not just good storytelling, it's great business. His star power still resonates, especially among fans who remember the Attitude Era, and younger audiences who know him as the father of the Usos and Solo Sikoa will be instantly intrigued by the layers this adds. It's a moment of continuity, but also evolution. As WWE heads deeper into its post-Roman bloodline arc, Rikishi's involvement could become the emotional center of the feud. Whether he's sacrificing himself for unity, manipulating for control, or preaching loyalty to chaos. One way or another, the image of Rikishi standing next to Solo Sikoa, delivering tribal truths while chaos reigns around them, may be one of the most enduring visuals WWE can create in 2025. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.